All right, so hello to all the students. In this video, I want to explain a practical example of Dutch auction, and I will not discuss theory. I will just discuss this short example in the minimum possible time and tell you how Dutch auction process applies. Now, you can see there is an example over here, and the example says that shares available for sale are 1200. So there is some company. Actually, Dutch auction is a way of selling your shares, correct? Just like IPO. So the company wants to sell 1200 shares. Now, under Dutch auction, what happens is that we welcome bids, and there is some information or bids available or bids received from various parties. For example, A is willing to purchase 300 shares in our company at 60. B is willing to purchase 300 shares at a price of 55. C wants 600 shares at a price of 50. D wants 300 shares at a price of 50. 100 shares each E and F want at a price of 45 and 40 respectively. So under Dutch auction, what we do is that, for example, if we have total 1200 shares, we decide the technique actually is to decide the price at which all the shares will be issued. So under this process, what we do is that first we go from the highest to the lowest bidder. Okay. For example, A has given us the highest bid, which is 60, and he wants 300 shares. After that, B wants 300 more shares, but he is willing to pay 55. So 300 and 300 is 600. After that, C wants 600 shares, and he is willing to take those shares at 50. We are going from the maximum bid price to the minimum bid price. Now, there is a party D, and D is also willing to take up 300 shares, and he is also willing to pay $50. So basically, we wanted to sell 1200 shares. E and F are out of the question because they are offering us very low price. We can easily sell our shares at a higher price, correct? So this Dutch auction process lets us know that we can sell our 1200 shares at a lowest price of 50. Because if we sell at 50, we know that 100% shares means all the 1200 shares will be subscribed, correct? So there is no need to go for ENF. So actually what happens is that for 1200 shares, you go with the highest bidder, then second highest bidder, then third highest bidder, then fourth highest bidder, until and unless all your 1200 shares are subscribed. Now, in this example, I have made a complex situation. And the thing is that if we add these up, 300, 300 is 600, 600 and 600 is 1200. And there was a tie between C and D. C is willing to pay us 50 as well, and D is also willing to pay us 50 as well. So there is a tie between C and D. So we know that at a price of 50, we can actually sell more than 1200 shares, which are how much? 300, 300 is 600, 600, 600, 1200, 1200, 300, 1500. We know that at a price of $50, we will be able to sell 1500 shares. But we have to sell 1200 shares only. So now what happens is that two things that you have to be very careful about. The first thing is that the issue price will be the lowest price, at which all the shares can be subscribed, which means that the issue price will be $50. Very important, very important, very important. This means that A will not pay us 60 per share. B will not pay us 55 per share. Everyone will pay us $50 per share. We will decide a lowest bid price, lowest price at which all our shares will be subscribed. Clear? Although we use this bid chart to meet the lowest value, but this is not the case that A will get 300 shares at 60, B will get 300 shares at 55, and we will sell 600 shares to C at 50. No, everyone, the subscription price for everyone will be the lowest price. First thing. Second thing, over here in this question, there is a tie. By tie, I means that C is willing to purchase 600 shares for 50 and D is also willing to purchase 300 shares for 50. Although A and B were above them, but C and D, there is a tie. So what you do is that you write shares available divided by total shares possible that can be sold. So this 1200 divided by 1500, 1200 divided by 1500 will give us a percentage, which means 80%. This 80% shows, that we have only 80% shares available with us for sale, although total shares which can be possibly subscribed at a price of 50 is 1500. Now what will happen is that everyone will get 80% shares. Like if I write over here, A will get, what is 80% of 300? 80% of 300 is 240. So A will get 240 shares. B will get 240 shares. C will get 480 shares. And D will get 240 shares as well. So if you add all these together, 240 plus 240 plus 480 plus 240, this is 1200. You see? So the 1200 shares that were available for sale will be sold such that A will receive 240 shares at a price of $50. A, 240 shares at a price of 50. Do remember this, not at a price of 60. Yes, initially we asked A how many quantity is he willing to buy and how much maximum can he pay. Then we also asked B how much quantity is he willing to buy and how much maximum can he pay. But after we came down, we in a descending order, we realized that 50 is the price at which all our shares will be sold. So A will receive 240 shares at 50. B will also receive 240 shares at 50. C will receive 480 shares at 50. And D will receive 240 shares at 50 as well. Okay. So what happens in Dutch auction? First you decide the quantity of shares that you want to sell. Then you welcome bidders. They tell you the quantity and the price at which they are willing to subscribe for your shares. You make a list in descending order with the highest bid price on top, then the second highest bid price, then the third highest bid price, then the fourth highest bid price. Then you come down in a sequence calculating what is effectively the price at which all your shares will be subscribed. We know that we don't need to go to E and F at all because they are paying very less, 45 and 40. We know that at $50, all our 100% shares will be subscribed. Then if the number of shares people are willing to subscribe is more than the number of shares available, you calculate this ratio, which is calculated as 1200 divided by 1500, which is 80%, and everyone will get 80% of the shares. Okay. This is one possibility of Dutch auction. And for more information, you can access portal. I am putting notes and some more examples and some more material. Thank you all.